What's up, my pretties? It's Lion Queen here. Welcome to episode 294 of Shadows and Pretties. Today we are going to review the movie called Halloween that came out in 1978. This has been one of the best classic horror films of all time. I know there's other Halloween movies, and of course there is um, Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. So this movie stars Jamie Lee Curtis as well. You could guess it, Laurie Strode. Now, we all know Jamie Lee Curtis. She's been in a lot of movies. She's been in True Lies. She's been in the 2003 Freaky Friday movie, which I have yet to review because I need to try to find a good Freaky Friday to do so. But this film is a really good Halloween movie. I don't know why I didn't review this film last year, because I was looking at Shadows and Pretties episodes list, and I'm like, oh wait, I don't even think I've reviewed this film yet. So, this was directed by John Howard Carpenter, who had, directed this film and written the film. So, this is where we see the main villain in this movie happens to be, Michael Myers. Everybody knows who Michael Myers is. I've never met a person who's never seen Halloween. I've never met a person who's ever have even thought of, taking a look to see how creepy Michael Myers is. I mean, he's scary looking. He's like one of the best horror films ever made, horror characters ever been around. Now, Nick Castle plays as the Shape, aka Michael Myers mask. So he actually played a really good villain. We do have a lot of other characters in this, and we also know for a fact that Jamie Lee Curtis is in a couple Halloween movies. She was in a couple Halloween movies, and there was a lot of great filming, and the cast of the characters did a pretty good job, and I love the music. When you see the Halloween theme, you definitely know what you're in for. So, yeah, you could definitely say there is other, sequels to it, which, for those who are wondering, I'll be getting to those in a bit. I will try and see if I can, review, the other ones. Of course, there is other Halloween films, which, of course, I will say right now that, I'll try and find the time to review the Halloween sequels if I ever get at the time. And however, there is a remake of Halloween that was made by Rob Zombie in 2007. And of course, we have Halloween 2, which is a sequel, in the remake of Halloween 2 that came out in 2009. Of course, we have more Halloween movies such as Halloween Kills, which I have not seen yet, and Halloween Ends, which I've also not seen yet. So, we're going to go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and review this film. Basically, explain what the plot of the movie is, especially for those who have not seen the movie in a really long time. And for those who want a refresher, I think we should all go ahead and review this film. Now, before I get started, I want to say right now that if you do not want to hear any spoilers about this movie, then I suggest you click off this video right now. But, especially for those who have not seen it. But I could definitely say right now, I first saw this movie on VHS a long time ago, and it's a really great movie. I mean, I saw it when I was in my teen years, but it's still a great film to this day. It has aged, but it's still a classic horror film, especially that came out in the 70s. I mean, horror films from the 70s, 80s, and even the 90s were actually pretty good, but this one is definitely one of them. I will be reviewing a few other Halloween movies such as Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Halloween 4, 5, Halloween the Curse of Michael Myers, 20 years late, Halloween 20 years later, etc., etc. So you guys will see more of me reviewing the Halloween movies. If I don't get them all done, by the end of October, I will, get to more of those movies maybe in the future, even if it's not Halloween, but we'll see. Anyways, without any, further ado, let's begin. So the plot is about, on Halloween night of 1963, In the suburban town of Haddonfield, Illinois, a 6-year-old Michael Myers who brutally stabs his teenage sister Judith to death with a kitchen knife. Years later, in October 30th, 1978, Michael's psychiatrist Dr. Samuel Looms and his colleague, nurse Miranda Chambers, drive Smith to Smith's Grove Sanatorium, where Michael had been incarcerated, and to escort Michael to court for hearing Looms' hopes that Michael will be in prison for life. So the two spots patients on the ground during a thunderstorm. Apparently the power was out at the time. Dr. Looms orders Marin to stay put while he runs to the gate to make a quick call. Michael, however, jumps on top of the car and attacks Marin, smashes the passenger window, while Marin frees the vehicle in terror while her escapes to Smith's Grove after she steals the car. The evil is gone. Dr. Looms escorts her to Marin sitting on the ground in the rain, clearly shaken by the whole ordeal. So the next day, which happens to be Halloween, after killed a mechanic for his overalls on the way down to Haddonfield and stolen knives, ropes, and a white expressions of a mask from a hardware store, Michael sees a teenager named Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, drop off the keys of the long-abandoned Myers house that her father is trying to sell. Laurie notices Michael stalking her throughout the day, but her friends Annie and Linda dismiss her concerns. Loomis arrives at Haddonfield to find Judith's tombstone missing from the cemetery. Further Loomis' suspicion that Michael is in Haddonfield, he meets with Annie's father, Sheriff Leigh Brackett, and they investigate Michael's house. Where they find a dead, mutilated dog in the house, Loomis tells Brackett that the 15 years he has known Michael, he has come to believe that he is pure evil. So Loomis recalls 6-year-old Michael having the backlist of eyes, the devil's eyes. Brackett is doubtful of danger, but tries to go on the patrols on the street while Loomis awaits for the former Myers house, expecting Michael to return. So later on that evening, Laurie babysits Tommy Doyle, and while Annie babysits Lindsay Wallace across the street. Michael follows them, spying on Annie and killing the Wallace's dog. Tommy sees Michael from the windows, and he thinks that it's the boogeyman. But Laurie does not believe him, and Annie later takes Lindsay over to Doyle's house to spend the night, so she could pick up her boyfriend Paul. But when she gets to her car, Michael appears from the back seat and unfortunately strangles her then slashes her throat, killing her. So soon later, Linda and her boyfriend Bob arrive at the Wallace's house to find it empty. After, going at it, Bob goes downstairs to get a beer, where Michael kills him by pinning him to the wall with a kitchen knife. Michael then poses as Bob as a ghost costume, confronts Linda, who teases him to no effect. So annoyed, she calls Laurie to find out what happened to Annie, but Michael strangles her to death with a phone cord while Laurie listens on the other end. Thinking it's a joke, Loomis discovers the stolen car and searches the streets for it. So suspicious of the phone call, Laurie then goes to the Wallace house to find all of her friends' bodies, as well as Judith's headstone, in the upstairs bedroom. So when she flees down the hallway in distress, Michael appears and slashes her arm, causing her to fall over the stairway banister. However, barely escaping, Laurie runs back to the Doyle house, but she lost the keys to the front door. Then she fell over the stairway banister with Michael. Tommy lets her in the house, and Laurie orders Tommy and Lindsay to hide as she tries using the telephone to call for help. But she only finds the phone to be dead. Michael sneaks in through the window and attacks her again, but she stabs him in the neck with a knitting needle. Thinking he's dead, Laurie staggers up to check on the children, but Michael retrieves the knife and approaches to attack her again. She then tells the children to hide in the bathroom, while Laurie hides in the bedroom closet. But Michael finds her. Laurie stabs him in the eye with a wire hanger. That caused Michael to drop the knife, which Laurie uses to stab him square in the chest. She then tells Tommy and Lindsay to go down the street to a neighbor's house to call the police. So after they leave, Michael rises once again and approaches the unsuspecting Laurie. Loomis then sees the children running away from the house, so that's when he goes to investigate, only to see Michael attempting to strangle Laurie. Laurie snatches Michael's mask off, distracting him as he seeks to put it back on. Loomis shoots Michael 6 times, knocking him off the balcony, and Laurie tells Loomis that Michael was the boogeyman, to which Loomis confirms. Loomis then walks over to the balcony, and to see that Michael has vanished, a resigned Loomis takes out the knife as Laurie sobs in terror, and that's how the movie ends. Well, that was actually a really good movie. I personally really liked it. The cast and the characters did a really great job. They got pretty good actors that, played in the movie, and they did a pretty good job. I personally thought, this movie did a pretty great job. It's still a really good film, even though I'm looking at it today. It's still a really great film. I mean, I can never get the image off of my mind every time I hear Michael Myers, or every time I see Michael Myers. I always think of that one movie, Halloween. Of course, there are other Halloween sequels, such as the second movie, and there's plenty of other ones that followed up. What do I personally think of this? Well, I think Jamie Lee Curtis did a really great job playing Laurie in this film. I personally really like the plot of it. It's really nice. And this is actually perfect if you want to watch, a good horror movie. You definitely got to watch Halloween. You definitely will not be disappointed once you see Halloween. It's a really fun film. It's great. It's got a good concept. I really like the actors. They did a great job. I especially like the details of Michael Myers. I thought he was a pretty cool villain. He still is, especially in the other films as well. So I personally really have to say, especially for a movie that was made in the 70s, I personally really recommend Halloween. You will not be disappointed once you see it. You have to see it. If you really want to see a good horror movie, you definitely got to check this movie out. You will not be disappointed. There's great films. There's a great concept. I love the plot of it. It's just a classic horror film. I've never met a person who's never liked Halloween. Well, maybe if you're but maybe if you are not, if the horror is not really for you, then I don't recommend this film. If horror movies are not your thing, that is. But I personally really liked the film. I personally enjoyed it. I thought it was well made and enjoyable. So, I guess with that being the case and with that being said, I'm going to sit here and just say that this is just simply my own personal opinion. And if you disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these movies. This is just simply my own personal thoughts. So, if you guys are wondering, I will see if I can review the other Halloween movies in the near future episodes. So, be sure you're on the lookout for that. And if I don't get to all of them by the time, well, it's maybe early November or something, because then that's when, Halloween's done for, well, now, but yeah. I don't really know when I'll get to the other Halloween movies, but I'll see if I can this year. But it depends on when I can release Shadows and Pretties on the schedule. But if you do really like horror movies, you definitely gotta see Halloween. It's a very great film. It's well made in detail. It's a perfect movie to watch on Halloween. You will not be disappointed. So is there anything else I have to really say about this film? No, I don't see anything else that I need to mention, but however, if I am missing something, you could please let me know in the comments below if I'm missing something. I think I got everything, but if I manage to leave something out, let me know what it is in the comments below. So, I guess with that being said and that being the case, what did you guys personally think of this movie? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this movie a lot better. Feel free to let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm the Lion Queen. I want to thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you're new to my channel, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications to when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, if you guys want to go follow me on Twitter, my Twitter account is in the About page section, so you guys can go follow that. If you're interested in following my, DeviantArt account, link to that will also be in the About page section, and especially for those who are interested in following my DeviantArt account. And as always, if you guys want to go subscribe to my, backup channel known as Miss Dark Shigo. Link to that will also be in the About page section, so you guys can go and check that one out as well. So I guess with that being the case, and with that being said, yeah, I will be seeing you guys all in the next video. Peace out. And yeah, as always, I will see you guys all in the next video, and we'll see you next time.